Hi everybody, I'm Erika Howsare. I'm a writer based in Nelson County near Charlottesville, and I'm really happy to be participating in this Writer's Circle project. So I thought I would offer a prompt that I've used in some of the classes that I teach called Writing for Awareness. These are classes where we focus on writing almost as a type of meditation practice rather than thinking about writing a finished product. So we try to use the act of writing to help us focus our minds and become more grounded in our surroundings and ourselves. And whatever we've written down during that process, we can just let go of it after the exercise or the meditation is done. Or we might decide to keep it or use it for another writing project. But in the process, during the process, we're just trying to use writing as a tool to help us bring our attention to the present moment, not necessarily to write something that's wonderful or impressive. It's almost like using writing itself as a form of a mantra during meditation. So for this video, I'm going to start with a technique called non-focused awareness, or NFA. So I first learned about this through my work as a birth doula. I was researching lots of different ways to help women cope with labor, and this is one of the methods I learned in a book called Birthing from Within. So non-focused awareness is a way to bring your mind into a calm, accepting awareness of everything in your surroundings without judging any of those things as good or bad, pleasant or unpleasant, liked or disliked. The book where I learned it said that it came from the samurai tradition, and I don't really know how accurate that is, but it does have a connection to the martial arts world. People talk about it in that community, and I think that's a pretty good way to understand it. So if you're let's say a guard, standing on guard for many hours, you do need to cultivate a widespread awareness of everything around you. You can't tune out or go to sleep, you can't zone out, but you also can't get too fixated on just one thing, like one visual point or one sound, because you'd have to be ready for anything to come from any direction. So you would train yourself to constantly move your attention around, just steadily moving that attention from one thing to the next, as though it's almost like your mind is a flashlight, and you're just shining that flashlight for a few seconds on this thing, and then that thing, and then the next thing, and you're not lingering on any of those things, and you're not stopping to judge them. You're just always moving on steadily. So I know that the Writer's Circle right now has kind of a theme of home, and I was thinking about that. With this exercise, most of us have been in our homes a lot more than usual this year, and a lot of people start feeling some cabin fever or some boredom with those places, and with winter coming, that'll be even more so. It feels like everything in our spaces is just too familiar. We've looked at it and experienced it too much lately. So this kind of practice, non-focused awareness, it could maybe be a way to notice some new things about that space, refresh our awareness of it a little bit, and also just to practice non-judgment about your home if it tends to cause you stress. For example, this is a chance to just look at that unfolded laundry and for now just let go of the thought that goes with it about how you should get to folding it. You can let go of that judgment thought, or the dusty furniture or the cluttered shelf or whatever it is that causes you stress or feelings in your house. So get yourself for this exercise, get to a spot in your home or nearby to your home that you feel like you know really well. So that could be a comfy place where you have a nice view out the window, or it could be a more awkward spot, like sitting right on your kitchen floor, or maybe it's an outside place where you can observe things that you feel like are part of your home environment. Obviously, it's a beautiful day right now in Virginia, so I've chosen to be outside. Maybe there's a spot where you can see the plants or trees around your house or neighbors' houses or your car in the driveway, anything that feels familiar, like it's part of your home environment. So get something to write with, pen and paper, and just settle in there, and you can pause the video if you need to while you go to that place. And so when you're ready, just sit for a moment quietly. Start to let the place come into your consciousness, and just gently begin to write some observations of this place. Think about that smooth, steady flashlight beam just moving around, not getting stuck. And as you go, as your flashlight moves around through your surroundings, just write down a word or a few words about each thing you notice. So for me right now, I would write down leaves shaking on beech tree, sound of plane overhead, moss on log, and so on. And most of us do tend to go for the visual things first, but remember your other senses. So write down something you hear, maybe another sound, and then something you can feel, like your clothes on your body, maybe your limbs resting on the place where you're sitting, the floor or the seat. Is there anything you can smell? Are you tasting anything? What's the sensation of your breath right now in your chest or your nose or your belly? Make note of that. And then come back to the outside world, find a sight you can write down, or a sound, and then another. And just keep going, keep moving your attention steadily and writing down what you notice. Move around and check in with all your senses. And just keep practicing this for a minute or two. You can pause the video and just practice this for a little bit. And now you can keep going with that same practice, but begin to expand and think about other senses you have besides the usual 5 senses. What do you notice about the temperature right now? Make a couple observations about temperature of the air or of a surface. And what's your sense of space telling you right now? Is there something you notice that gives you a feeling of spaciousness, openness, or is it more like closeness? You also have a sense of proprioception that tells you what position your body is in. So what's that telling you right now? Are your legs folded or crossed? What's your posture like? So just noting down a few words to describe each of these things. What's your sense of direction telling you? What's directly in front of you? And what if you went for a walk in that direction? What would you come to? What do you know about what lies in that direction? Now, how about to your left? What would you come to in that direction if you traveled that way? And again, not getting stuck on anything, not judging, just noticing and moving on, just making notes. And thinking about what's to your right. And what's behind you. What's your sense of what's overhead right now? Is it trees and sky? Is it another floor of a building? Is it the roof? Clouds? What's your sense of what's below you? Where are you right now? Do you have a sense of other people in this homey spot that you've chosen? Do you sense other people in your home right now, close by or a little further off? Do you have a sense of people who used to be in your home earlier today or much longer ago? You have a sense of people who might be there soon. Or animals who are nearby or have been or might be. How about nearby to your home, not part of your home, but neighbors? You sense anyone passing by or in their own home that's near yours? And if you want to, you can pause the video again and see if you can tap into any other senses I didn't mention that can tell you about the place you are right now. See what else you can discover as you keep moving that flashlight beam of your attention around. And now let yourself come back to that simpler place where we started, just tapping back into the five senses. What do you see? What do you hear? Just make a few more notes. See if there's something in the space you hadn't noticed before, something that's been escaping your attention. And check back in with your body, your breath, maybe your pulse, heartbeat. And just gently find a stopping point for the exercise and lay down your pen and just take a minute to breathe and notice how that practice affected your state of being. So now you probably have a big list of observations on your paper, and you can crumple that up and throw it away if you like. You can just close your notebook and not look at it again for a while and then come back to it and see if it tells you anything. Or this can be a way to find a starting point for a poem or another piece of writing, a way to gather some sensory details that might get you going on some sort of writing project. But you can also practice non-focused awareness without writing at all if you like. I like to do it in the car when someone else is driving. Or waiting in line, or if you feel a little bored or unsure what to do for a few minutes. This is always there for you, and the more you do it, the easier it gets to drop into that state. So thanks everybody for taking the time to do this exercise, and good wishes for your writing. Take care. Thank you.